So, I popped into High House Insurance to see if they could quote for my house insurance rather than using the internet. High House got a great deal. So to celebrate, I bought a posh hairdo. It made me look beautiful, gorgeous enough to become a highly paid model. I then won Celebrity Big Brother. I had an affair with an MP. Now I'm promoting a doll of me that says, "Cool, blimey, you're well fit."
Happy things happen when you talk face-to-face with High House Insurance. See if we can beat your home insurance quote from the internet. Find us on the High Street, Selsey, or call 606 552.
Hello, and a warm welcome to Manhood Internet Radio. I'm Tony Weiner, your host for this show. We will start this week's show with Alison's review of what's on in the area, and that will be followed with the answers to last week's quiz. I will then give an update on the Selsey Walking and Outdoor Festival, and we will finish the show with our Mr. Quiz Kevin, who poses another set of brain teasers. Okay, so let's start the show, and it's over to Alison for a roundup of what's on in the area.
Hello there, and welcome back to our weekly roundup of what's on in Selsey and the surrounding areas. Well, now that all the furore has died down over the EU elections, it's business as usual. So on Wednesday, the 29th of June, we've got a mobile soft play session for the under fives at the Selsey Centre. That's running between 9:30 and 11. If you're interested in that, you need to contact either Sue or Tom, and they're on 606 462. The Selsey Model Boat Club is also meeting on Wednesday at the pond on East Beach between 4 and 6 in the evening. And if you enjoy singing, then why not go to the Selsey Community Choir? They meet at the Methodist Church in the High Street, and they rehearse from 7 until 8:30. On Thursday, it's the Selsey Cinema Club at the Town Hall. This week they're showing Hail Caesar. The show begins at 7:30 in the evening, and tickets are £5 each. You can buy on the door or you can book in advance, but there is a booking fee. On Friday the 1st, the mobile soft play session is meeting again as before the Selsey Centre, 9:30 till 11. And as a special on Friday, also on Saturday, there's a commemoration service for the Battle of the Somme. This will be held at the Selsey War Memorial at 11 o'clock in the morning. The Reverend Andy Wilkes will be conducting the service. Standards are very welcome, but there will be no marching. It's anticipated that the service will last for about 15 minutes. Participants are welcome to join afterwards at the Royal British Legion. Connected with that day, there's an exhibition at the Town Hall, A Dark Day Dawned. It's to commemorate the Battle of the Somme in July 1916. That will also be repeated on Saturday the 2nd of July at 2:30 and 7:30. You can discover the part played in World War I by men from the village of Selsey through readings, poems and songs of the time, including a reading of the Roll of Honour. Admission is by ticket at £5 each. They can be obtained from the Town Hall, and there is going to be a paying bar or tea and coffee. So that's Friday and Saturday. Also on Saturday, if you head down to the Pagham Harbour Visitor Centre, the RSPB, you can go to something called Bee Mused, which offers an insight into the life of the honeybee and a year in the life of a beekeeper. That begins at 10:30 and will last for approximately 2 hours. Booking, as usual, is essential. You need to ring 641 508. The cost is £8 per person, or £6 if you're an RSPB member. So that's all from Selsey. Let's have a look now across the peninsula to what's happening at Bracklesham. Nothing in particular is a special this week, so as before I'm going to be concentrating on 2 of their regular days, Sundays and Mondays. On Sundays at Bracklesham Bar there's a meeting of the Windrush Church. They meet between 10:15 and 12:25 on a Sunday. There's also a pond barn quiz night at 8 o'clock. On Monday the 4th of July, the Little Ducklings Mother and Toddler Group will meet at the barn from 9:30 until 11:30. Running alongside that is Circa Venetia's Flow Yoga. That's from 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock. Next up there, short mat bowls between 10 and 12:30, and then in the evening there's yoga with Elaine. between 7 o'clock and 8:30 in the evening. If you fancy something a little more energetic, why not join ARO Ladies Beginners Kickboxing with Verity. That's at the barn between 7:30 and 8:30. So that's a roundup of what's happening this week at the barn. That's all for now. Bye.
Thank you, Alison. Now let's find out the answers to last week's brain teaser.
And here we have the answers to last week's quiz. Now, Kevin asked us, in the Kipling poem, what is the job of Gunga Din? Which predatory arachnid carries a sting in its tail? Which crustacean has varieties including hermit and horseshoe? Who played Sybil Fawlty in Fawlty Towers? And which creature is the king of the jungle? And the answers are, of course, Gunga Din was a water carrier. Number 2 was a scorpion. Number 3, the crab. Number 4, Prunella scales. And number 5, lion. And the connection, of course, is they're all star sign symbols. Well done, Kevin.
We now have an item on the Selsey Walking and Outdoor Festival I recorded earlier. Hello, I'm Tony Weiner from Manhood Internet Radio, giving an update on the Selsey Walking and Outdoor Festival, or SWAF as we call it, which took place from Monday the 23rd of May to Monday the 30th of May 2016. Now, great weather capped off a wonderful week of activities for participants who explored the wildlife, sea, history, landscape, night sky and flora of the Manhood Peninsula by foot, buggy, bike, sea and boat. This was the most successful year yet, with hundreds of tickets being sold. Toddlers and their parents started the week's event with a Spring Treasure Nature Trail provided by the West Sussex County Council Children and Family Centre, which is based in East Street and Selsey. This was hugely popular, and we were glad to see toddlers taking an interest in their environment. Now, most people love owls, and the team from Selsey's Owls About Town provided a passionate and captivating talk whilst allowing us to see their gorgeous and wonderful owl collection. The owls are donated and often have been used as pets for children, which is not a good thing. Unusually, David Cameron and Nigel Farage were quiet and didn't even mention the referendum. For those of you that possibly don't know, a collection of owls is known as a parliament, and the birds are named after politicians and are probably a lot wiser than their namesakes. SWAF is unique in being able to offer such a variety of events, which takes in the land, sea and sky. We are lucky to have Mulberry Divers based in Selsey, who provided snorkelling events to explore the region's marine life. Lucky participants are anemones, crabs, mussels, limpets and whelks. A snorkelling fitness class was provided where participants were shown how to burn off a lot of calories in 45 minutes. This is an amazing and low-cost way of getting fit, and the organisers may put on regular fitness classes following requests. On one evening, Dr. John Mason from the Chichester Planetarium led a mesmerising tour along the Selsey foreshore, of course made famous by our very own Sir Patrick Moore, and John pointed out aspects of the night sky. It is completely beyond me how he can possibly identify so many stars, but he does, and captivated his audience as usual. Back on the ground, an expert from the RSPB led walkers around the new memory reserve, identifying the wildlife, which has quickly adapted to the new environment. We had great reviews of the event, and it's sure to be repeated again next year. An intrepid group retraced the route of the former Selsey tramway, which was operational between 1897 to 1935, with a 12-mile walk brought to life by the use of archived photographs, maps and anecdotes from yesteryear. Other groups took the opportunity to explore the area, including the many blue plaques, the famous railway carriage homes and the Sidlesham Land Settlement Association. We were fortunate that the owner of the listening post was available to give us a talk about the nefarious goings-on during World War I, where there were strong rumours of a German spy in Selsey, in West Street if you must know, and was said to be shining lights for the Zeppelins to track their way to Portsmouth Harbour. 2 new events were offered this year. The first invited people to discover Nordic walking, which uses poles to improve stamina and distance. This proved so successful that participants will join a class. The contemplative walking session provided an audio guide where participants could download a program to their MP3 players, and where they were invited to slow down to quietly concentrate on the movement of their bodies and to observe details of the surrounding seascape. This has proved so popular that there are plans to provide participants next year with preloaded machines, so those that don't have smartphones or MP3 players can take part. Moving on, the Manhood Wildlife and Heritage Group led 2 outings. One was a group around Pagham Harbour to explore the plants and a variety of habitats. And there was an event at the Dust Session where the bats provided an aerial display, setting the detectors, which the group provided, into a symphony as they responded to the different species in the area. This took place down at East Beach Pond, and who knew we had so many varieties of bats? Cycling was also a feature of the event and took in the new memory reserve, as well as the Sultan's Way in a leisurely ride from Selsey to Itchenor. The weather was absolutely ideal, and participants had a great picnic and chat before returning to Selsey. Okay, so that's a summary of this year, and planning of course is already starting for 2017, where the event will be held from Saturday, May the 27th to Sunday, June the 4th, and includes 2 weekends by popular demand, so put it in your diary now. As well as the regular events, SWAF are looking to hold a demonstration of skateboarding and BMX riding, as well as a bit of training, and by popular demand, a walking event to take in a range of gardens, which will be done in conjunction with the Horticultural Society. I'm sure that by the time the programme is finalised, there will be a lot of new and fascinating events. These events will cover a variety of topics and are intended to be made available to a variety of age groups and fitness levels to demonstrate the amazing area that we know as the Manhood Peninsula. So if you want to join in or have ideas for the event, then do keep an eye on their website, Wibbly Wobbly World, or www.swof.co.uk, so that's www.swof.co.uk. Look at their Facebook page, Selsey Walk Fest, or email them at selseywalkingfestival@gmail.com, and have a great social time next year. This is Tony Wiener, returning you back to the studio. The Town Council does a lot of good work behind the scenes, and Sam Tate, their town coordinator, is talking to Keith about some of the great projects she's involved with.
Now, today we're down at the Town Hall and we're talking to Sam Tate. And Sam has got what I consider to be an unenviable task, because it's Sam's job to try and keep the people of Selsey happy, and she's the town coordinator. And Sam's going to be telling us about what's coming up, including Screen on the Green. Good morning, Sam.
Morning, Keith. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. But there's an awful lot going to be going on this year, of course.
There is, Keith. We've got the festival starting again in August. We run it every year. This year the festival is running from the 5th to the 29th of August. And we've got some old favourites back. So End of the Pier Show is back for its 14th year, which seems quite terrifying. So they're doing a show to celebrate 90 years of Her Majesty this year. So that's their theme, should be fantastic. Cloud9 are doing Fame as their production this year, which again, last year Greece was brilliant, so I can only imagine what they're going to do with Fame, and they've got a live rock band with it as well, so it's going to be brilliant.
There's an awful lot of hard work going into both of those, I do know, because I've been involved in a small way with End of the Pier Show, and of course a lot of people involved with the End of the Pier Show, also involved with the production of Fame, and the enthusiasm that goes, it is incredible. Absolutely,
so much work, and you know the guys from Cloud9 and the people from Sakos that put so many hours into putting all of those shows together. It's absolutely brilliant, and deservedly they are extremely popular. So I think tickets for Fame are on sale now at High House. There's been so many people inquiring early about them that they've put.
Ticket sales were opened about 4 weeks early.
Absolutely. So you know, get in early, because I suspect that it will sell out.
I think it will.
So that's really exciting. So that's 2 really good events that we've got coming up. We've got some new things this year. The Folk Club on Friday the 5th have got a couple of live folk bands in at the Selsey Centre. We've not tried that before, but again, should be a really good night. They've got some really top quality bands coming down. So that should be excellent. We've got old favourites back. So we've got John Mason doing his astronomy lecture, the Sir Patrick Moore Memorial Lecture. And this year should be really interesting. It's all about using the International Space Station as a base to Mars. So should be an interesting lecture this year, and obviously lots of talk about the International Space Station and Tim Peake in it as well. So I think lots of local interest for people. So
a great deal of local interest, I have to say, and quite rightly so. It was a monumental achievement.
Absolutely,
from Tim Peake, and to get up there and stay for 6 months. That's an awful long time to be cooped up in a small place.
I know, it doesn't even bear thinking about. As somebody who wanted to be an astronaut when they were a child, as an adult, I couldn't think of anything worse. But that's going to be great. Obviously, we've got Carnival on the bank holiday weekend on the Sunday, and this year the theme is Mardi Gras. And we have a slight difference this year. Obviously, vehicle entries are welcomed always, but this year we're also trying to encourage a few more walking entries. So there will be a slightly foreshortened walking route where walking entries can cut out the bottom loop, so they can cut across it Latham Road and not have to walk the full circuit. It's quite off-putting, particularly if you've got children and things involved in it. So this year, I say walking entries encouraged as well, because we know that sometimes it can be hard to get a vehicle for groups. So we're trying to encourage both, and so the theme is Mardi Gras. And then for me, the thing that's keeping me really busy at the moment is organising Screen on the Green, which is taking place from the 19th to the 21st of August this year. So we started it last year, which is the free open air cinema that we run down at East Beach. And it was just so immensely popular last year, and we got such good feedback that we thought, hell, we'll do it again.
Yes.
So we're doing it for an extra night.
They're most enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. And just a really lovely way of bringing the whole community together.
And I believe they've got a new screen this year.
We have.
We've had a few problems with the screen last year.
Well, yeah, the screen we had last year was a giant inflatable, which was great in that they're relatively simple and quick to put up. But the only problem with them is that they're not very good when the wind speed gets above about 20 miles an hour, which in Selsey, clearly, even in the height of summer, exactly, it's always above 20 miles an hour. So last year we ended up with the screen having to come down at the end when we were doing Greece, which, as I always say to my daughter, always have a backup plan. So we did have a trailer behind it that we could project onto, but clearly it wasn't as large and it wasn't as good. So this year we have a new and improved screen coming on, which is it's kind of like the sort of screens that you get at racecourses and stadiums and things like that. Right. So it's a big LCD screen this year, and a big LED screen, which means that it comes in on the back of an articulated lorry. It pops out up the top, so it's much higher up than it was last year, which should help people with their views. And the really good thing about it is that we don't have to wait for it to get dark before we can start showing the films, because it's not running off a projector. So what that means is that this year we can do some afternoon matinees as well. So Wonderful. We can get more films in. Hopefully it'll be a lot more windproof. And we can just really extend the event. So we're running from Friday the 19th, when we have Mamma Mia showing. It's 7 o'clock. And then on Saturday the 20th, we have a 2 o'clock showing of Frozen. And then we have a 7 o'clock screening of the original Ghostbusters. Not wishing to say anything about the new one because I haven't seen it yet, but everyone loves the original. It's a great film, so you know that should hopefully be popular. And then on the Sunday, we're having what I'm calling Best of British Day. So we've got the Shaun the Sheep movie in the afternoon, and then we've got the 1969 version of The Italian Job in the evening.
Wonderful.
So should be really good. Hopefully there's something for everyone.
Well, of course I would. Is there any charge for that?
The films are all free, always. Just come along, bring your blanket and enjoy the show. But this year we took on feedback from the audience that they maybe would appreciate a few more creature comforts this time around. So we've added a few extras. We have a marquee there this year, which is running hospitality packages. So you can have afternoon teas or pre-show dinners. And you know, sort of enjoy it really. The marquee also has its own screen and sound system, which means that even if it's chucking it down with rain, you can still enjoy the film in the dry. And what we're also doing is that marquee will also be doing some late night screenings as well of films that are a little bit tricky to show on the large screen because of the age restrictions on them. So on Friday night we've got the Rocky Horror Picture Show running. On Saturday night we've got The Life of Brian, and on Sunday night we've got With Nail and I showing. So, you know, guests can book tickets for those as well, for the evening screenings.
The late night showings.
Showings.
What sort of times are we talking?
They're starting at 9:30, so they'll be finished by 11.
So nobody needs to worry too much about being put out by the noise.
No, absolutely. And the main films every night will be finished before 9 o'clock because we're very mindful of the residents. So,
I'm sure
you know, it's a residential area there. And
they know where to find you, so you need to be.
Absolutely. So we've got that going on. Also this year we have some deck chairs down there that you can pre-book. Again, last year lots of people told us that they got a bit uncomfortable towards the end of the evening. It gets a bit cold on the grass in August. It can chill off a bit early in the evening. I just wonder how far it's going to go, because it's an outdoor cinema down by the beach, so we all know what it is. And then people say, well, wouldn't it be nice if we had some comfortable seating? And does the roof come next? Well, no, I think never the roof, Keith. But I think a few deck chairs is probably quite good. There's nothing worse, especially when it's dark and you try and pack your stuff all up at the end. You've got to lump it all home. So if you want to this year,
a little bit,
absolutely this
Takes
year
the edge off it.
you can just book a deck chair, and all you need to bring is yourself then, which is probably a bit easier. So we've got that going on, and we've got pre-bookable picnics. If you don't want to have to make your picnic up, you can pre-book it and just pick it up from us. We've got those running, so lots of different options just to try and make life a bit easier. We've also got, as we had last year, there'll be food stalls and drink stalls down there. So there'll be a full bar, there'll be vintage tea caravan, Thai noodles, jacket potatoes, fish and chips, hog roast. So if you don't want to make a picnic, you don't have to. No, there'll be plenty to eat down there and plenty to keep people entertained.
Well, I know it was a wonderful event last year. It sounds like it's going to be even better this year.
We hope so. We really want it to be something that builds year on year and puts Selsey on the map, that gives something back to the community where we can all come together, and also encourages people to come into Selsey and to spend money here. So it's good for the local shops and the local businesses as well.
Well, thanks for all that, Sam, and updating us on what's going on or what's going to be going on. Those of us that live in Selsey always know that August is going to be a busy time, but it sounds like it's going to be extra busy this year and extra enjoyable, I have to say. The outdoor cinema I thought was a cracking idea. Whoever dreamed it up, I thought it was a cracking idea. Hopefully we just get the weather, Keith. That's all we've got to. That's what we've got to hope it's
for now.
August, could be wet.
Exactly. Let's hope for a good summer.
Same as any month. But we're thankfully very lucky down in Selsey, and we don't really get the worst of the weather.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks once again for coming in, and I know we're going to talk to you again soon in a few weeks' time just to get updated, and I look forward to seeing you then.
Lovely. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you.
And if you require any further information about that, you can contact Sam at the Town Hall on 605 803, or you can go to their website, which is www.screenonagreen.co.uk. Thank you, Sam. Some great work going on there. It's now that time when we challenge you with another tricky test, so over to Kevin.
Right. Hiya, Kevin again. Kevin the quiz with this week's Connections quiz. 5 general knowledge questions. What are the answers, but what connects all the answers? Question number 1. Which athlete won a gold medal in the pentathlon in the 1972 Munich Olympics? She was born in Lancashire. Who is she? Question number 2. What is the name of the family in Mary Poppins that Mary Poppins was the nanny for? Question number 3. This is a tough one. You might have to look this up. What is Rodney Trotter's middle name in Only Fools and Horses? They only say it when he gets married. Question number 4. Which comic and pianist was for many years Peter Cook's comedy partner? And question number 5. Politics question. Who was the British Prime Minister from 1964 to 1970. So 5 answers, but what connects all the answers? Good luck with that.
So we have reached the end of this week's show. It's thanks to all our contributors, including Local Life magazine, our sound editor John Mallett, our presenters Alison, John, Keith and David, not forgetting of course our producer John Fletcher. So it's goodbye from me, Tony Wiener, until next time, bye.